Mikail, how we doing, man?
Doing pretty good.
Doing well?
Doing real good.
Time is it's mid-February, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the winter workouts and everything, you guys just rolling with it? What's it been like?
They're starting to sit in a little bit. The legs are starting to feel it a little bit. The shoulders are starting to feel it. But it's good. My body's starting to feel back like in that off-season form, right? So I think everything's starting to set in the way I like it.
There you go. I'm sure you're a little bit more comfortable now than 12 months ago around here?
Oh, yeah. The snow doesn't bother It still bothers me because it is crazy, but it doesn't bother me the same way it did before. But it's been good. I'm enjoying the city.
Before we attack IU football, I got to ask you about Bloomington. One of our little inside jokes throughout the whole year was all the post-game meals that you guys had. We had pizza most games. There was a couple times where the Uber drivers stole our food, which wasn't good. You guys had Smokin' Jacks quite a bit. You were a pretty big fan of Smokin' Jacks. Top 5 Bloomington restaurants, Mikail Kamara.
Buffalo Louie's, Smokin' Jacks.
Yeah.
What else? There's another place on Kirkwood. It's like a wing spot. I forgot what it's called, though.
I'm bad with Bloomington restaurants, to be honest.
We'll figure it out.
We'll get it there, yeah.
Wings Extreme.
Sure.
A random little belt to throw in there. And then 2 little staples, Chipotle. And then probably Blue Burger. Brew Burger.
Sure, okay, yeah.
Brew Burgers. Brew Burger might actually be my favorite. I can't.
Really?
Brew Burger, I think that's my favorite.
So I got to ask you, Rocket's convenience store. Do you ever go and grab a smoothie?
I didn't get the chance to
go
go
there. You did
there.
not get the smoothie.
I did not get the smoothie yet.
So the 10 p.m. post-Purdue smoothie thing never happened?
It didn't happen.
See, I was
No, I ended up I went to Culver's, though.
Okay.
Culver's just out. Only for the milkshakes, though. Like, food-wise, I'm not a fan, but, like, I'll go there for a milkshake any day.
I gotcha. Yeah. I love Rockets. We got to get you a Rocket smoothie.
I'm going to try. We got to do it. I can't lie. We got to do it.
This podcast is not sponsored by Rocket's convenience store, but great smoothies. IU football. You're back. Obviously, you're here. You're not combine, prep, training, or anything. Why did you come back to Indiana?
I basically figured, like, we got so close, right? We were this close, right? We got there, first playoff game. Definitely didn't end up the way I wanted it to turn out, but I feel like we have a lot more pieces now where we can really go there and get the job done. I think I'm more experienced in those bigger games. I didn't feel like I played my best in that game, but I know how to attack those games going forward. And I think the rest of my teammates know the drill as well. So I think I just want to come back and try to win a championship.
When you guys, I think it was like the last Notre Dame drive, the last real drive they had, the last 2 or 3 plays, I remember looking out, you were really slow hopping up. I think it was their touchdown, the guy hopped over you even. Was that more mental pain or were you just hurt?
That play, actually, me and J-Walk, I think I know what play you're talking about, but me and J-Walk were both rushing off the edge, and me and him ran into each other. So we was kind of wobbly coming off that. But this was a long season, for sure. This is my second season, completing the entire season. Bigger bodies, so I got to do a little bit different things of keeping my health throughout the season, eating a little bit better throughout the season, taking care of my body a little bit better, just to be able to withstand that entire season. But again, all that came with the experience, me kind of understanding how it goes now. So that's a big emphasis, is to play better November going on, right? October going on. The first 6 games is easy. It's the back half that I got to do better at.
I was looking at your numbers. I think you had like 68 pressures that led the country, if I'm not mistaken. You were the first IU player with 10-plus sacks since 2008, I think. What more for you on an individual level is there to do?
I want to break the sack record. That's my goal. Individually, that's my goal. And continue to play like a first-round draft pick. That's individual goals. But then I just want to continue to will this team to play better. 11-1 is great, but let's go 12-0, right? And then continue to do it in the playoffs, and especially do it in the big games. Like, we got Oregon. Individually, I got to play really good in a big away game, and same with the team, and then Penn State away as well. So those are two games circled on my calendar.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the kind of thing where, like, it's late January, whenever, and you're like, okay, I want that game? Or are there times when you're like training and you're like, okay, I gotta rise to that occasion?
That's actually what happens all the time. Like, we're doing sledge, we're lifting, we're squatting, doing whatever, and those reps that don't really go hard, I think about those games. I think about late November, what my legs gonna feel like. I think about, fourth quarter and those big games, how my head's gonna feel, how my legs are gonna feel, and I got to be able to push through that mentally and physically.
I want to read a few things that a few of your staff members, a few of your teammates said about you last year, and I want to see how you react to these. Brian Haynes last year, quote, he goes hard every day, every play.
Yeah.
Aiden Fisher, quote, he's relentless. Mike Kadick, quote, he has a motor like I haven't seen in a while. And then Carter Smith, I hate Mikail, man.
That's iconic. I can't. That's iconic.
I'm curious, the one common theme that a lot of people said about you last year, you just go so hard. Mm-hmm. What drives you?
Again, I hadn't talked about this, last year as well. I feel like I talked about it in a lot of my interviews, but I had a lot of injuries my first, 2 years in college. I missed the whole season. I missed a few games here or there. I just understand that any single time I get on the field, that could be the last time I touch the field. Mm-hmm. So I got to go hard and make plays and do whatever I can in that short amount of time.
One of the other things that a lot of guys mentioned is that you had the 2 shoulder injuries right early on at JMU, that you've changed the way you take care of everything off the field now. I'm curious, what is that process like when you're trying to retool everything off field, retool a whole strength program? Just like what is that process like?
So I'm really adamant on getting extra work in by myself or with my teammates, with Reek specifically. Me and him are on the field probably like 4 or 5 times a week, right? So now how do I continue to keep that work ethic and continue to get those skills, but kind of take back how much stress I'm putting on my body? So I'm kind of changing the way that some of my workouts are. They're not as long. They're more, skill-based, more hands, less things on my legs. And then the next thing is make sure I'm getting in treatment. Treatment before lift, after lift. The days that feel good, making sure I'm still hitting the tubs, I'm still stretching, I'm still doing those things. Continue to eat my vegetables, continue to eat my fruits. The basic things that my mom taught me. But basically, it's just continue to be more observant of what I'm doing and how I'm taking care of my body and try to optimize it to my full potential.
I'd assume those are also things that you don't necessarily learn in high school as much either, and you kind of have to see a college strength staff walk you through a little bit too.
Yeah, I think, especially me just getting a little bit older and a little bit more seasoned, playing a lot more snaps. It's not like high school where I can just get up and just go play, right? I got to stretch and do my thing, so I'm starting to understand the value in all those things.
Is there less stress for you off-season wise as far as the amount of hours you're in here?
I wouldn't say that. No.
What's your average off-season? What is your week like here now?
So basically, we get up in the morning because we have lift at 6:30. So I'm usually in here around 5:50. Get in, quick little. Usually have a bagel before my lift. Treatment. So that's just warming up my legs, stretching, warming up my shoulders, whatever the case may be. Lift. Get out of lift. And then more treatment after that. So that probably takes me until like close to 11, like 10:30, 11. I'll go home, come back for lunch, go home, take a nap, and I'll probably come back here to the field to work out again by myself around 4 or 5 o'clock. Go probably hit the tubs right after that, eat, go to sleep. Sleep around 9:30. That's pretty much the routine every single day. Monday through Friday. And then Saturday, we get up in the morning, we'll have like quick lift, nothing too crazy, but that's usually just treatment day, probably do some stretching, walk through some stuff, and then Sunday completely off.
You don't have enough time to have these runs to Rockets or anything, do you, man?
I really don't. That's why I tried to do it during the season.
Hey, 9:30 to 5:45 is how long you're sleeping?
Yeah.
We have way different sleep schedules, man. 2 college kids, very, very different sleep schedules. Want to ask you too, off-season progression. Last spring, I think Sig came in here and he highlighted you as a guy. You're like, okay, he has taken his game to a whole new level. What is it that happened in that post-JMU transfer last winter to last spring that really kind of changed things for you?
I think it was a mindset thing. I talked to a JMU great, Jay Green. He was kind of a guy that I looked up to. Me and him played together, and he had a monster season last year or the year before. So when I came here, I kind of talked to him about, mentality. How does he attack workouts? How does he attack the games? How does he do this stuff? And it was really just switching my mindset from just wanting to come out here and dominate. Like, be the best player. Like, not just the best D lineman, not just the best defensive end, be the best player on the field. So that whole mindset, I kind of took that into workouts. All right, I was trying to squat the most, trying to bench the most, try to run the fastest. And then once it gets to the field, it's just the motor, and then playing fast, physical, relentless, our whole motto.
There was something that I think Bryant said as well, that you realized early on that what you did at JMU worked here as well. Is there a moment that kind of clicked for you too?
Yeah, I think during spring ball, so I kind of realized it's still football, right? Nothing changed. It's still the same run schemes. It's still the same pass sets. The guys are a little bit bigger, faster, a little bit stronger, but it's the same exact thing. It was just that switch to just understand, like, I belong here and kind of have that confidence with it.
One of the things I've always wondered about, pre-snap, what goes through your mind when you're trying to blend pass rush moves, when you're trying to figure out, okay, I did this 3 snaps ago, I did this 4 snaps ago, and you're trying to constantly, rotate it, trying to mix it up. What goes through your mind pre-snap?
There's a lot that goes through my head during that time. But, it's kind of just understanding my matchup, understanding which tackle I'm going against, what their weaknesses and what their strengths are. And then kind of understanding, based on the call, how do I set up this move? So if I have a call where I got to make an inside move, what have I done before to make it seem like I'm going outside and then hit that counter? So it's a lot of it. I feel like the beginning of the game is a little bit more mental, but by like coming out of halftime is when it's just I've had enough reps against this guy where now it's just a field thing. It's just instincts.
Interesting. I gotcha. Amari Kamara.
Oh yeah.
Amari
Big time.
Kamara.
Big time.
How old is he? He's 18, right?
17.
17, and you're 24, 23?
23, yeah.
23. I can't imagine you ever thought you'd be playing college football with Amari, no?
No, not at all.
Is he here yet, or is he?
He'll be here in the summer.
He'll be here in the summer. How exciting is that for you to have him coming here?
That was probably the best news I've I've heard. Like, I could throw away anything I've done here. Just to have my brother here is amazing. For him to get this opportunity to come up here and play, like, just understanding kind of the path that I went through, FCS, G5 to here, for him to start here and get it rolling here, I'm so happy for him.
What was his recruitment process like?
It was a lot, because the biggest thing, like last year, his junior year, he was playing a lot of defensive end, but he was a great DN, but they just didn't like his size. So he had to move to linebacker, which he never played. So for him to switch to linebacker and make all the plays that he did, he was the real leader of his entire defense. He did things I couldn't do, right? So I just wanted him to come out here and prove to everyone that he belongs here and he's going to dominate better than his big brother.
I remember hearing the story about how Sig thought you were a little small to play for him at JMU early on. Amari is, 5'11", 195. A lot of people would look at that and say he's not going to be strong enough to play at this level. Is it just kind of in the Kamara bloodline to just outplay your size?
It's outplaying your size and it's just outworking everybody, right? He didn't start playing football until his freshman year. So, the size and everything, it's going to take a little bit of time. Plus, he's young. He's still young. But he gets in the weight room with DO. A year from now, he'll probably be like 215, swole 215. And, a year from now, you'll be hearing another Kamara's name.
When D'Angelo Pons, I think, was in here before the playoff game, I asked him, what is one thing about Mikail Kamara we may not know? He thought about it, and I thought he was going to say something kind of out of pocket. He did not. He instead said he's a family man. So I'm curious, one, what does Mikail Kamara, the family man, look like? And then two, what else is there about Mikail Kamara we may not know?
I think that's probably the biggest thing. I'm just really to myself, I guess. Really to myself. I like to just literally just be in the crib. I got a dog now. I got a King Corso. Okay. So be in the crib, training him, playing the game, and I just, love having calls with my brothers, calls with my parents, calls with my family and my friends. That's really all I really do. It's really just all I really do is football, family, and business. That's all I'm about.
I got to go back to Amari Kamara real quick in that as well. I'm curious, was that a situation where you were like, come on, Sig, you got to have this guy? How involved were you in this process? Because, again, I know how much you love love having the whole fam here. Is that, I assume you were involved in that?
Sig he's a big family guy as well. He is someone that likes to get, brothers here, having them play together, just because usually younger brothers are gonna be better, right?
Yeah.
That's I guess that's the philosophy he kind of takes. Because even like Tucker, his big brother played at JMU, so he came over and played at JMU as well. We see the Andrew and Will, you see all these different brothers kind of playing. So I think that's just kind of his thing, just kind of get younger brothers. He's already trying to recruit my youngest brother, who's in 5th grade. So he's already trying to recruit him and get him out here. So I think that's just the philosophy that he likes.
I gotcha. Your Instagram profile picture is Kobe Bryant in the stands reading a piece of paper. I noticed that.
You got a crazy eye.
Yeah, crazy eye. Why?
To me, first I just kind of like art, so I kind of liked the art of it, right? The purple background and all of that. But I've always liked Kobe Bryant because his mentality, the way that he trained, the way that he took games serious, took this serious, took everything serious, but then was able to turn it off when he went home, right? So that's something that I've always aspired to be, right? And then the whole part of him being in the stands by himself, to me, just felt like I'm in a room alone where I'm crafting, I'm doing everything I can just by myself, right? Just kind of just like heating up, getting ready for everyone else to see me. But right now I'm just crafting and getting better all by myself.
I know you mentioned back before the playoff game that you're really big on prayer, really big on the whole process of trying to think about it before it actually happens. Kind of like it's a manifestation thing as well. When did that process kind of start for you?
I'll probably say my going into that last year at JMU, I think that's kind of when it started. Because it was more, I feel like I was kind of lacking confidence, right? So I kind of had to start to believe, even though I couldn't see it. Start to believe things that other people might not believe, start to believe even things I didn't believe at the time, right? So it was all about just aiming higher than you can ever think of, right? Because if you aim high and you miss it, you're still above everyone else, right? If you aim for here and this is really the goal, you're gonna hit it. So that's always been kind of the way I thought about it, to shoot for the craziest goals you can and go and get them.
I had one more for you. You mentioned at the very beginning of this, actually, that how close you guys were last year. And you added quality pieces now. When you look at 2025 IU football at Oregon, at Penn State, high-level games, high outside expectations, what do you see happening here, this team, 2025?
I see us winning those games, right? It's going to be close games. It's going to be hard fought, but I think we're going to go in there and get it done. I know guys like Fisher, he's going to dominate. I'm going to dominate. There's plenty of other guys, Tyreek, all these guys are going to come out here and kind of just do better than they've ever done, right? I think we understand how big the moments are. I think we still played well against Ohio State, but I think the moment was a little bit bigger than we kind of thought, right? But now just having the mindset of, okay, we're going to go in here and there's going to be 100,000 fans screaming. Like, it's going to be a hostile environment. Just go out there and it's the same game, right? So I think we're going to be all a lot level-headed. We're going to have some better leadership, and we're going to go out there and take some of those games.
Kyle, as always, man, really appreciate you.
Pleasure.
Appreciate your time on this fine Thursday afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Always a pleasure, man. Would love to have you back on.
Thank you.
Thank you.